everybody. It's the Humble Man Podcast checking in with you. Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tuning in today or making a video because it's something interesting that I wanted to talk about. Well, the title of this video is They Did Me Wrong. Now, I know it's a few ways we could run with this one right here. Just generally, we've all been done wrong. There's been times that we've done people wrong. Me, myself, I've even feel like I've been done wrong and I've done people wrong. And I've been stuck in this constant cycle of, being mad, anger, and bitter. And I had to realize, it's only one way to get rid of those type of feelings. When you feel like you've been done wrong, you feel like the world is on your shoulders. Everybody's on your back. Nobody's agreeing with anything that you're saying. And then we a lot of times us as people, we won't admit that we've done people wrong as well. So it's all a part of it. But what I came to realize is that it takes forgiveness. That's why forgiveness is very important. I went to church maybe 2 or 3 Sundays ago. I go to quite a few churches around the Detroit area. And they actually talked about this specific message that I'm bringing up to you guys today. And that actually was the title of the sermon. He said that they did me wrong. And he went back to Genesis. Was that Genesis? Yeah, Genesis, I believe, chapter 39 or somewhere in there where it talks about Joseph's story. If you all know the story of Joseph, if you don't, I'll just give you a quick overview. So he talked about the story of Joseph. And Joseph had a dream. Joseph had 12 brothers. Jacob was his father. But Joseph always had favor. And his brothers were kind of jealous of him. And one day Joseph had told them that, I had a dream from God that I will rule over all of you and the nation. And he would be this great figure. And when he told his brothers that dream, they got real mad about it. And they set up a plot to kill him. And one of the brothers eventually said, no, we can't kill him because there would be blood on our hands. So instead of killing them, they sold him into slavery to the Egyptians, or it was another group. I may not get everything correctly right. I'm just trying to give you guys a general overview. But Joseph was lured out into an open field. They threw him in a hole or a ditch, and they sold him into slavery. And the Egyptians or whatever group, they came by and purchased Joseph. So where Joseph picks up at is he's a slave and a servant to the Pharaoh. And he actually comes across a man who sees how righteous that he actually is and how he has that favor of God over his life. And so the guy had invited Joseph into his house. Joseph was so righteous that the guy wanted him to oversee everything in his house. Everything, because he knew that Joseph was so righteous. Sure enough, we've all heard this story before. So one day, the guy had a wife. One day, Joseph was in the guy's house, and his wife tried to come on to Joseph. So Joseph, he fled. He didn't want anything to do with it. And as he fled and left her, he left his garment. So what the lady did is that since she couldn't get Joseph to fall into her trap, she told her husband that Joseph tried to sleep with her and that she had his garment to prove that. So basically, Joseph was thrown in jail. So as you guys can kind of get the theme, um, if you're trying to do your best and live in your godly ways, there's going to be people and things that will try to bring you down and stop you from reaching that. Um, but Joseph didn't let it stop him. And so I may get a little fuzzy with this part of the story, but moral of the story, um, so Joseph, he's in jail, and the Pharaoh had start having dreams that he could not interpret. And Joseph was actually one of the only people in his kingdom that could interpret that dream. And so he interpreted that dream for the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh went to all the magicians, the wizards. He went to all of them, and none of them could interpret this dream for him. So Joseph was able to interpret the dream. And Pharaoh promoted him up to, I believe, the second or the third person in his kingdom. So Joseph eventually began to reign, and we start to see some of the things that he would prophesy about in his dreams earlier. So Pharaoh also kept having more dreams, and again, only Joseph could interpret those dreams. So if Joseph interpreted those dreams, he told Pharaoh that there would be a famine. There would be 7 good years. I may not have everything correctly. If you want to check, you can go in Genesis, I believe 38 or 39 to chapter 40. I'll try to get the exact scripture where that's at. But Joseph told the Pharaoh that there would be, I believe, either 5 or 7 good years of harvest here. And then after that, there's going to be 5 to 7 years with no harvest, with famine all in the land, no food, and a drought. And everybody will have to come to Joseph to buy all their foods and their goods. So sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The 7 good years went by, and now the 7 bad years has passed, or the 7 bad years has come to term. And so Joseph basically was saying that just like his dream. So his brothers eventually, who were back, uh, I forget the exact place, but back in their hometown, they were told by their father Jacob to go out to this king in Egypt to get all the goods that they need because they didn't have any food or back at home. And so the 12, I believe it was like the 10 or 11 brothers, went out to greet to meet with Joseph, but they didn't know that it was Joseph who they would be buying all this from. Um, and eventually, Joseph would sell them the goods, but he also would like subliminally ask them about they had another brother that they didn't bring and their father Jacob. So he would subliminally ask them, um, and I'm gonna kind of just wrap it up towards the end. I may skip a little few details. So, moral of the story, they came back again with their younger brother and let them know that their father was alive. And Joseph had to go into a room and just weep by himself. He had to weep, but he eventually pulled himself together and he came out to his brothers. And he told his brothers that I am Joseph, your brother, who you sold into slavery. And he told them, don't worry about it, because God had already knew that you guys are going to do this to me. So he had told them, don't be burdened about it. And I don't know. So pretty much, kind of I want to wrap up the theme of that story is that they people have done you wrong. They will continue to do you wrong. But you can either get mad and let it anger you and make you bitter, or you can be like Joseph. And you can just give it all over to God, and you can say, "Hey, I knew this was in God's plan." It's not always easy to forgive. Me myself, I already know that, but you have to, and I'll even say that myself. I've been done wrong. I've been hurt. I've done people wrong. I've hurt people. And I ask for forgiveness from those people. And I hope every day that I can be able to forgive those people that hurt me, whether it be whatever, relationship, job, money. You just have to forgive. And that's what's gotten me. And when I see that story of Joseph, I said, man, I know I'm not going through as much as Joseph. And it's like, I didn't get sold into slavery. But no matter what, Joseph still stayed faithful to God. That's the type of faithfulness I strive for every day. And I hope you all strive for it. But that's why I wanted to make this video, to show you guys the significance of forgiveness. You just can't move forward until you're able to forgive. And that's a lesson that I've learned and I'm still learning. But if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, they've done you wrong, but you're still in the fight. You have to forgive them and just get past it. So yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.